Yes, yes, yes. What is good, my people? Welcome back to Computer Music Academy's weekly homework podcast. I am your host, Tasha Rasay. Thank you for watching and thank you for listening. Welcome to week 99. One less than 100 of the weekly homework assignment / podcast. Shout out to my man, DJ Locturno, for the intro, using that for another couple of weeks and then moving on to something else. I can't speak. Anyhow, hopefully you're well. Hopefully everything is good. I'm feeling good. Why? Because this is episode 99, which I think is going to be a pretty decent one. But episode 100, a milestone, an achievement, so to speak. It's coming up next week, and we got something very special planned. Gave out the assignment the other day, made some other plans that will be releasing the details very soon. But yeah, I'm very excited for that. But that's next week. This is this week. This is 99. And what are we doing? Well, it's funny how things work out because I was actually thinking about doing this anyhow. We did an assignment last year where it was basically, I realized we had people from literally all over the world, and we still do. And I wanted people to give us a taste of their environment. Let us know what's going on where they live through music. And I was thinking about doing it again this year, and I was actually thinking about doing it again this particular week. And something happened. Something very special, very epic, in my opinion, happened on the Thursday before I released the assignments, which is always on Saturday. Well, Thursday night, Friday morning, depending on where you are. Dr. Dre released music inspired by the movie Straight Outta Compton, which I still haven't seen yet. But I did hear this album simply called Compton. And I was like, whoa, it is easily, this is my personal opinion, easily the most refreshing thing I've heard this year when it comes to music. And there's been some great albums to accompany this particular album, but this, in my opinion, is my absolute favorite because the musical production and direction and everything that went into making this particular album is incredible. And with that said, I was like, oh no, we have to do this. So welcome to Rep Your City 2015. And we actually have, I'm a little surprised, slightly disappointed. We only have 4 submissions this week, but I'm pretty sure they're going to be good. But I just knew we were going to get a lot more, especially with everybody being in different parts of the world. But it just didn't happen. It's all good. What I am very happy or curious about is this first entry by a gentleman who is originally from Compton, and now he stays in Nevada. My man E-Thang. Let's get into it. Yes. E-Thang. That track was actually called, he titled it himself, Dark Compton Streets. So I can kind of see that. So let's unpack that real quick. Now it's a very, well, before I go any further, if you've been paying attention to the podcast, E-Thang is very new to making beats. Very new. Like less than a few months new. So that would definitely explain the minimal amount of instruments and movement within the track. And that's not necessarily a bad thing. What the first off, the thing I have to point out, it took way too long to come in. I know E is very new to this, but the thing about it is, you have to get the people's attention right away. You don't always have to have the beat come directly in, but if you are going to do an intro like he did here, you do have to kind of make it a little quicker and make it come in a little quicker, because here's the thing. This thing didn't actually start until like 45 seconds. There was 45 seconds of, 8 bars of this, then 8 bars of this. I think it's 8 bars, and then 8 bars of this, and then the beat finally kicks in, the full beat. So that right there, when you're showcasing beats for somebody, especially if they know what they're doing, they're not going to listen to that entire beat. They're not going to listen past, say, like the first 15, 20 seconds because it hasn't kicked in yet. So by that time, you should actually have things going, or it should be very close by. Other than that, I like where he was actually going with the track, like giving you that dark Compton streets. I don't know if that was more of, we know it's a decent amount of violence and dark culture, so to speak, down over there, or if it was just an after dark thing, which I can more relate to, that the after dark thing. I can see this if I was watching, let's just say, footage of, LA, Compton, or whatever, and then put this on top of it. It kind of makes sense, especially when, you see people riding around in their cars and dancing, or just kind of chilling out, people just, being in their environment. But I do like the track. Definitely, we're going to have to work on getting you to do some more variation with the track, because it was cool what you had, but definitely needed a lot more. We will work with that. But definitely got to work on your levels too, because your levels are very low. I had to bring it up in the podcast. But, we will get to all of that. But way to kick things off, my man. I know you're still working, and we're going to continue to work with you and make you great, Lord willing. So thank you, E-Thang. All right, moving on to my man, DJ Nocturnal. Let's go. Lockdown. Matter of fact, you should have used that tag that I made for him. DJ Nocturnal Lockdown. That should have been right at the end. My man, DJ Nocturnal, representing his city, Charleston, South Carolina, represent. And I love the concept. I love the thinking that went into this particular track. Now, he actually has a couple different samples, and of course, he put his own music in there with it. First off, the first sample comes from Darius Rucker, who's also a Charleston, South Carolina representative. If you don't know who Darius Rucker is, Darius Rucker, to say it simply in terms that you may understand, he's the black guy in Hootie and the Blowfish. I mean, the lead singer, but he's the black guy in Hootie and the Blowfish. I have a lot of respect for Darius Rucker for this reason, because I remember when Hootie and the Blowfish came out, I was like, hell, want to hear some damn Hootie and the Blowfish. But then over the last 20 years, I guess, I've seen this dude do a lot of different stuff. He started out with, I guess that would have been the pop rock kind of thing. Later on, I saw him do soul music. He actually has one or two R&B albums out, believe it or not, and they're actually nice. He's done country, which I think this was one of those samples from one of the country songs. And he's actually done like harder rock, not necessarily hard rock, but a little edgier stuff than Hootie and the Blowfish. And jazz too, if I'm not mistaken. I gotta think about it. This dude is a very versatile person. So shout out to him for just evolving and really exploring what music is all about, not just sticking to one lane. And especially being a black dude doing a bunch of stuff that people consider that you should not do. You know, everybody think that black dudes are supposed to play basketball and rap. But anyhow, but yeah. So I love the use of that sample. And then Locke explained a little bit further that, you know, South Carolina is in what they call the Bible Belt of a portion of the United States. And that's, you know, part of the South, and it stretches a little to like the Midwest, if I'm not mistaken. But he used a little kind of gospel, little soulfulness in there as well. As you heard, I think it kicked in right about 135 or something like that. Very nice. I love the use of the kind of the 808, I guess you could say, hip hop type drums and everything else that he used along with it, the other instrumentation. Yeah, Locke is he's still that dude. He's still every week. He and several other people just continue to impress every single week and reach out. And reach deep and try to do different things with their music and still keep it true to themselves, but they reach out and do other things. And that's what the WHP is all about. So shout out to my man Nocturnal for that. All right, going to another gentleman from the South. I'm very interested in hearing this. My man, Gold 007. Let's go. Gold 007, my man, back for week 99. I like. So, as we've said many times before, the great Gold 007 represents Tampa. He's originally from oh wow, why am I blanking on where he's from? He's originally from Midwest, but he's been in Tampa for some years now. But yeah, that's where he is now. And without knowing him, I can definitely say this track represents what goes on, what I would think goes on in Tampa. Without knowing him and without his explanation, I can definitely say that. And his explanation is very dope. He's saying it's the home of a lot of teams. Lightning. He said it's currently the rain and lightning capital of the world. Lots of diversity. And this definitely had that. I mean, we all know Florida is it's right there on the border. Right there next to ocean and just beautiful weather and all kind of crazy, nice, diverse in people. What I say? Nice, diverse. A nice diversity of people and cultures and just a lot of stuff going on. So you could actually hear the beach, and I thought I heard some lightning and rain and stuff like that as well. Tampa Bay lightning, haha. But yeah, hearing how the track evolved, especially, I think it was around the 130 mark where he actually had it filtering in and out, which was really dope with like the different drums and whatnot. And I'm going to say that percussion represents what's going on down there too, because there's a lot of Latin culture down there. And speaking of which, right after that point, it evolved into like some a Latin track, which was really dope with the piano, that kind of thing. Oh my God, that was nice. Overall, excellent track. Love the drums. I love the use of the what I want to say, kind of the gated drums, like especially like that snare that. Oh man, I've always loved the sound of those drums, man. But yeah, everything about this track is really dope. I think it's incomplete though. I will say it's missing one thing. And I didn't hear anything that represents all the crazy people and craziness that happens in Florida. I kid. I love you, Bill. Excellent submission, my man. Good to have you back. And we will look forward to seeing what you do for next week. And now, moving on to the finale for this particular week, my man, Mr. Wallace, what you got for us?
Double negative.
threshold of seeing how many zeros them checks hold. Approached by the best pretty skin with a legs bow. I don't think it can change because I already know that you blow for 15 minutes. After that, out you go. Media show the public everything just a story criticized from afar. To be a star ain't attractive to me. I'd rather relax with my team, run the point, lead them just like my team. If famous haters won't let us enjoy the club scene, cause you got to be deeper than a ravine and still hold the vein. But these other niggas get all the glamour. I'ma be the paper stacker while they posing for the cameras. When it's time guaranteed, I hang it up like a banner. Until then, choose the gap on that end and come and ride with us. I ain't worried about shit, cause God gon' provide for us. The valley of this art form, come on outside with us. The valley of this art form, come on outside with us. The valley of this art form, come on outside with us. The valley of this art form, come on outside with us. The valley of this art form, come on outside with us. The valley of this art form, come on outside with us. The valley of this art form, come on outside with us. The valley of this art form, come on outside with us. Side with us, side with us, side with us, side with us, side with us. This art form, come on, now side with us, side with us, side with us, side
Wow. Mr. Wallace closing out week 99 of the weekly homework assignment / podcast. Woo! Banger. Oh my. Shout out to Wallace for this one, man, because he kind of went somewhat of the same way that Locke went with his. So Wallace, I know of Wallace from Detroit, and I also know, with before he even said this, I also know that he's originally from Flint, if I'm not mistaken. Flint, Michigan, which is a little north of Detroit. I want to say about an hour, around that amount of time. For anybody who is outside of Michigan, that's where MC Breed, may he rest in peace, that's where he came from. And now John Connor, who is, it's funny how things work out, how things connect, who is now working with Dr. Dre. And John Connor has been building up his name over the last few years that I've known of him. Now he works with Dre. He's on that Compton album. Anyhow, so yeah, that's where Rod is originally from, and he stayed in Detroit longer than he stayed up there. So he mixed the two, and I really love what he did. One, he used an artist from Detroit, like I said, as far as the same as Locke did for Charleston. He used, of all people, he used a song from Kim, K-E-M. If you've never heard of Kim, and if you listen to this podcast on a regular basis and you've heard me say that R&B and soul music is dead, he's like one of the only people, not only, but one of the people who are keeping it alive. And dude makes some really, really, really dope, just really soulful music. And he's from Detroit. So he used a song called Cherish This Moment. Very dope use of that. Very excellent choice to use that. And then the way he used it, very nice. But he also used one of his own tracks from when he was rapping called The Valley. That's crazy. That was the, I think it was around the 130 when it actually kicked in. That was him rapping. And I'm going to assume maybe about 15, 20 years ago. I could be wrong. But yeah, that's cool, man. And then everything else around it. It was a complete Wallace track. Wallace is known for just nastiness. He normally closes out the podcast between he and Show. But man, track is nasty. When it started off with a little something, then you actually had the Kim sample that he chopped that came in, and then around the 30-second mark, when the drums came in, the swing, the clap, the kick, the snare, all of that, woo, came in with the rest of the beat, and I'm just sitting there like, wow. Jaw just dropped at that point. And I don't know why, because I'm not surprised with what Wallace does. Wallace is going to bring it. But it's the fact that he, Shonuff, Locke, Gold, couple other people I can't think of off the top. Like I said, every week they continue to impress. They find different ways to impress, different ways to keep bringing out just heaters for real. But this track, this is something special. This is something very special. I'm very, very impressed with this track, man. I am. I really like how you integrated your old verse. Very dope. I'm going to assume that you probably use some of the same samples you did in the original track. I'm just assuming there. But the way it all fit together perfectly. Excellent, excellent submission, my man. And that's it for this week, people. We will be doing episode 100 next week. I'm so excited about that. 3 years to get to episode 100. 3 years of CMA, and we are only just beginning. Trust that. So if you would like to be a part of what we do for the next 100 episodes, come on over to computermusicacademy.com and join us. It is that simple. I'm done for the week. Enjoy the rest of your week, and I will talk to you next time. See ya.